What up, y'all? Back again. This here is the Louisiana Purchase World's Fair in 1904. Look how big that stuff is. Look at the people to these monstrosities. Now, you can't tell me that we built all this. They said this was built from 1901 to 1904. 3 years, and it opened April 30th, and it ran for like 6 months. And most of it's all gone now, like destroyed. But it was to celebrate the Louisiana Purchase, and it was probably 100 years. 1804 probably sounds about right when they got that Louisiana. I don't know why it was in St. Louis, Missouri, but that's where they did it. Look at this, y'all. You tell me we built this stuff? Like, this is just like 8 years after electricity supposedly came out. Come on, man. You gotta give me better than that. We're still riding horses. We don't even have a Model T out yet. And we built all of this in 3 years. Look how small these people are. This is like more like Rome than Rome is. Come on, y'all. Look at that. This stuff was here already. We were reset in 1812, and we didn't start populating this place until like the 1890s. So this was just us getting back to the earth after the post-millennial kingdom. And they would do these world fairs, in my opinion, to indoctrinate us. They would start giving you like hot dogs and hamburgers and cotton candy, and they would teach you like what the world is doing. So they would have these things in every country of the world. These are just some in America, but we're supposed to have come from no infrastructure. And this was right at, you're talking about, we're talking about like this is cowboy time with horses and buffalo. And you're telling me they built this? They had like little 6-shooters. I mean, like a Lincoln or whatever was not born too much earlier than this in a log cabin, y'all. This is ridiculous. You can't tell me we built all that. We didn't build any of it. I postulate to you that this city was probably not occupied before then, or if it was occupied, they'd open corridors as these cities were ready for these people. So this was maybe an area that was closed off to the people, or the people knew about it and it's not going to get on the news or nothing, or they didn't have the news. So it was like people might know, but it would never get out to the world because the powers that be wouldn't allow it. Look how big that thing is. It's all built for giants. And you'll see that because during the millennial kingdom, before this rapture happened and everybody was raptured out of here, and we were put in for the short season. These saints, the saints that to live for 1,000 years, they were taller and bigger than us. They were different. They were in their glorified bodies. They didn't have to use the restroom and stuff. They could regulate themselves probably. They didn't need heat and air, but they didn't need food to eat necessarily. They didn't have about one kitchen in one of these in each huge building, there'd be like one kitchen, almost just for fun. They'd have one little bathroom, and it's not like they didn't know how to build bathrooms, but in the 1870s, we had the Great Stink or whatever, because we're starting to enter these cities that looked like this and had no bathrooms, and we were just crapping everywhere. Come on. So nobody would be so disconnected that they couldn't build a bathroom or didn't know any better. See, they didn't have to use the restroom. Look how tall these buildings are. And just because we're in the little season or the short season, it doesn't mean anything different for us except for we're in a different time period than we knew. And that we're at the very, very end. And that just explains these buildings and these structures that we didn't build. And when you go back in your history, you'll find it's all fake. And it's all fake because they have to cover this stuff up, and they added 1,800 to 1,000 years to the calendar. They just turned the I and the J to a 1 that stood for Christ from Anno Domini. And overnight, it was like 1,000 years added. And if you read the Bible, like especially the book of Matthew and stuff, that it was obvious that it was imminent, that Christ was coming back during that next generation. Those people that were going to crucify him were still going to be alive when he came with his glory and his kingdom. And the disciples knew it. And they had technology to spread the gospel, just not spoken of. Thank you.